Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 18 of the Pokemon Master Class. And hail to the victors. Hail.
Hail, go blue.
Hail to the victors. Big Ten champions.
Cheers.
Cheers. Jim Harbaugh just won Coach of the Year, even though I believe I publicly poo-pooed him all over this podcast in a previous episode. So for that, I'm sorry.
With that out of the way, let's get to the intro. So today, obviously, I'm Grass Leader Justin.
And I am Zero.
And this is the Pokemon Masterclass podcast. Today, main topic, we're going to be talking about the Pokemon Unite Winter Super Patch. We call it the Perfect Patch, it was quite spectacular for Pokemon Unite.
It was pretty good.
That's going to be the main segment we talk about today. But first, we got check in. So, Brandon, other than us becoming state champions,
Big Ten champions, sir.
Big Ten champions, excuse me.
Yeah.
Other than our favorite team becoming Big Ten champions, how you been?
Well,
Anything new? What's been going on in your life?
Well, the Game Awards were last night, and more importantly than anything we're going to talk about today, we got the Sonic 2 trailer, and it's going to be awesome, and we're probably just going to end the podcast right there. Cut to the music.
That's all you need to know. Tails, Knuckles.
Class is dismissed, baby. The Game Awards were last night. There wasn't a whole lot that I was super interested in because I really only play games on Switch.
Metroid.
But Metroid won Best Action Game, and then we got another Sonic game coming, so we got a preview of that. And other than that, it was just like a bunch of.
You look Does it look interesting to you? The Sonic game?
Yeah, it might be kind of jarring, honestly, like to see Sonic, this colorful cartoon Sonic character running around in like a Skyrim-esque open world, but we didn't see any actual gameplay, so we don't know. They had some other open world games. One was very cartoony looking, and the world looked super empty. Like it stood out, and those things don't normally stand out to me, but that one really stood out to me. I was like, "There's nothing." Like this map looks great in cartoony, but nothing. But I think that's pretty much all the interesting things happening in my life outside of suffering in the cold while I play disc golf. What about you?
Pretty much the same. Just had a couple days off. We're making some good food. We're cooking some homemade soup, staying indoors. You got the fireplace. It's been really nice. Enjoying some family time over the holidays, and now we're recording podcasts. Obviously, new patch came out this week. A whole bunch of new stuff with it. So because we had a couple days off work, so obviously we've been able to play with the boys.
Yeah.
Getting in PMC sesh, so that's been really fun. And from those sessions, we've got quite a few recordings coming out. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the new character that just dropped, and we're going to have hopefully some recordings in the next week or so of her.
Yeah.
Other than that, we've just been, chilling with the fam, watch a couple Christmas movies, hanging out with the dog, stuff like that.
I guess
Go back to work the next week.
I guess I should kind of take back what I said when I said that not a lot is happening in my life, because in Unite, a lot is happening for me personally. I just picked up Cramorant, and I posted a vid with Cramorant and how much I've been enjoying him.
Yeah.
Cramorant might be my new mage main.
Yeah.
And then we got Tsareena. I'm not going to go in depth on Tsareena. However, I've been playing her, and I love Tsareena. So I've got this new all-rounder main.
Grass type. Everybody loves grass type.
And then we've got a new all-rounder coming in 10 days. I'm not going to say who it is. You probably already know if you are following Pokemon, and we're going to talk about him in a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we did talk about him quite extensively yesterday in the extracurricular. It wasn't extracurricular. It was just news. So yeah, that's things have been somewhat eventful here.
Yeah, definitely.
But
let's talk about this first bit of news we have. Actually, we do have quite a bit happening in kind of all aspects of Pokemon. There's so much going on. Hisuian Voltorb just got announced, he's adorable. It's going to be Grass Electric, so another one coming on to my side of the squad.
Yeah.
Got another Grass. And obviously, we really like Electrode. Joey's been using Electrode in the BDSP meta to some pretty decent success, and now being able to be grass and electric. I mean, everybody knows how good Lawnmower Rotom is,
Yeah.
so I'm really excited, super happy. But
Hey,
in
Ellie.
the yeah, there she is. She's trying to say hi to the podcast. So yeah, there's kind of so much going on in the Pokemon world from every direction. Pokemon Go is having all sorts of events right now. Like they
Oh
just
yeah.
had Giraffe done out. Now he's got more shiny spawns. Like you just got your shiny
Yeah,
Sneasel.
shiny Sneasel. I got 2 shiny Piplups. You're gonna see them all on the channel too. I've been
Yeah,
I've been
super
getting
exciting
shinies
stuff.
like it's nobody's business. It's crazy.
And so, in light of that, we did a big long extracurricular. So this part of the news is sort of a plug, but we'll talk about it for a minute, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in the singles meta on the Showdown. So BDSP OU was officially cut into two. So it was OU and everything below that is the UU. So the usage is out. And you and I did an extracurricular for what was it, like 30, 40 minutes?
Yeah, we got like a 45-minute extracurricular, and we talk about all of the suspect
We
types.
break it down. We break
Yeah.
it down. I mean, we got it all timestamped. You can check out whatever you want there, but we break it down.
Yeah, there's bans and suspect tests, and we talk about all the ones going back to maybe even like the middle of November, like November 20ish. So
Yeah,
anything that
we
you
kind of cover it all in one big.
yeah, we covered so many tiers, and there were things that we skipped over, like 2v2's ban is suspect testing like tornadoes. Like we don't really play that, and it's not like a huge
Yeah,
meta, so we kind of skipped over that. But we covered things in ZU, PU, NU, and
we
then
covered it all the way up all, from top to bottom.
yeah.
And
So we'll link that.
that's for both the Sword and Shield OU and BDSP OU. There are some suspects and some bans going on.
Yes,
So
yeah.
we cover both of those. And so there's a whole lot to talk about. It's really exciting stuff. We cannot me personally, I know Sport Ninja and Zero both share the same sentiments as myself. Everybody in the PMC, we are having the time of our lives right now swimming through the BDSP OU meta. It's so much, even UU too, but
Yeah.
just playing the BDSP meta on Showdown, it's so nostalgic. Fourth gen is where we cut our teeth in terms of competitive. It's where we transferred from, kid gamers to competitive.
To men.
You know,
We went from boys
Yeah,
to men
to
in
men.
4th gen.
Voice to men to fourth gen. That's exactly right. Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So yeah, it's just been so much fun practicing with so many different teams, so many different mons. Using Meganium and OU. We
Yeah.
got that thing coming out soon. We got another squad where we're featuring Hariyama. Super fun stuff. That's one of your favorites, old Cartman coming
Yes,
back.
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
yeah, a lot of fun over there. So definitely check out that video. Link will be in the description, obviously,
Yep.
to our extracurricular where we talk about everything singles.
Yeah. So just to cap off our thoughts on that, like the big things happening right now, Latios getting suspect tested in BDSP OU. Curum is getting tested in Gen 8 OU. And then we've got some things that have been banned. There's some things like Drizzle and Blaziken, and we talk about those. So if you want our thoughts on those a little more in depth, go check out the video. Link will be in the description. What's next, buddy? So you want to talk about the newest character?
Yeah, so obviously Tsareena dropped. We're going to be talking in depth, and we're going to break her down and give our thoughts in the main segment. Obviously, she's part of that because she's part of this patch. But Tsareena dropped. She's new grass type. It's our first grass type all rounder.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting. She comes out with a very unique evolution at level 4 and then level 6 to from Bounsweet to Steenie and then Steenie to Tsareena. Her ability and auto attacks change depending on her evolution, so that's also, again, pretty unique to see that. It's really, really fun. I love to see a new grass type added in. We got 4 now. We need 1 more, and we can run a full grass team, and that'll be featured on the channel.
This guy's chomping at the bit to get Sceptile in here, so he can have
yeah, dude.
so he can have a
Sceptile,
speedster.
and then so yeah, we do have a little secret question of the day I want to ask for everybody. Please comment down in the description, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you see this and watch this. If there's one grass defender in all of Pokemon, so grass type to get in the game, that would be a defender class, who would it be? You get to pick one. Put it in the description. Mine Meganium. Brandon, go.
I'm going to share Bearded Banana sentiments and say that I think Torterra would be a really good addition to the game, especially for the Defender class.
Yeah, Defender class would be great.
Yeah. So the last thing we got to talk about before we kind of take a little break and then get into the main segment is Tsarena's out now. They dropped Tsareena, and then they planned with...
But she's free.
She is free. Yeah, that's one thing we should mention.
Basically, you log in right now anytime after December 9th was the big patch.
Yep.
You log in anytime after December 9th, and you get the free Unite license, so anybody can play Tsareena.
Yep.
She is melee. She is an all-rounder. For anybody that played League of Legends, she's very similar to Camille. For people that are just sticking to Unite, she feels like a similar-ish type of role to like a Lucario in terms of like where she falls in the all-rounder meta.
Yeah, I've seen some people saying that because of changes made to Lucario that we'll talk about a little bit later, that Tsareena might be the best all-rounder right now. It's a pretty bold claim. Yep. Pretty bold claim.
Especially when you got people like me running Charizard.
Yeah, that's true. The only Charizard rep in the east side of the United States.
But, I mean, for what it's worth, I rep it hard, man. I put up numbers.
It's true. It's true. I was there. I seen them. So, yeah, the last thing we're going to talk about, like I said, we kind of got
here we go. So backwards. Let me intro you in. This is super exciting. So, we're doing another plug here. There will be a link in the description.
Yep.
Because we did a reaction reveal because what Brandon was about to allude to. I'm intentionally stealing your thunder to lead you in because this is like the drum roll.
Yeah.
What Brandon was alluding to was that Tsareena dropped, and then they're like, "Hey, guess what? In 2 weeks, someone else is dropping, but he's already in the game. He's just not out for us." So basically, data miners and people that are way smarter than myself,
yep,
were basically, for lack of a better term, hack ? The game or the system, and they got to play with who is it, Brandon?
It's Dragonite. Get yourself a Dragonite.
Not a Dragonite, not a Dratini, not a Dragonair.
They're not fully realized dragons.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. So Dragonite's coming to Pokemon Unite. They gave us Tsareena, and they were like, you know what? Nobody cares about Tsareena.
We need a lot of all-rounder. We need another all-rounder.
Yeah, so they're like, here, take one that's way cooler, way better. I don't know if it's really, truly, technically better. We'll find out.
He looks like he's going to be pretty saucy.
He looks crazy. The amount of unique mechanics that are put into this Pokemon, he's got like 2 or 3 or 4 things that
he's got just brand new.
Yeah, unique to him that we haven't seen in the game before. Like, so I'm really happy with that.
Oh, Joey just posted Dragon Dance for Alligator and OU. I'm so excited.
Oh, God.
That's one of my favorites, man. Can't wait to see that. Link in the description, or go check out Joey's channel.
Yeah.
PokeMP. You should all be subscribed to him, obviously.
I ain't too worried about...
You definitely know about Joey.
I ain't too worried about for Alligator, because I just crit those with my Alakazam, as Doug can attest.
Oh no,
yeah.
Doug! I didn't see the live, but I saw the replay.
Yeah, he was pretty salty. Sorry, Doug. Anyway, yeah. So we get we get a free all-rounder, and then just less than 2 weeks later, they're giving us another one. It's Dragonite. So,
and it's the first all-rounder with ranged auto attacks.
Yes. Yeah.
It's never happened before.
Yep.
Every all-rounder has been melee or some version of melee. I'm looking like Bound Sweet and Steenie are sort of weird, and then obviously you have like the Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard line, which has like the medium range flamethrower breath for the autos. Sort of a bizarre stance there, but they're all classified as melee. I'm not sure what the technical classification is because he's not been officially like in the game yet, but we saw the footage, and anybody that can see it, standard Dragonite, if you're not pressing the outrage button, he's ranged. He's spitting long-range purple fireballs. Exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It's so perfect.
It's crazy.
Close to what you called without being attacker class.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how I wanted him to play, was just like this. And they literally, everything that we had talked about previously in a previous podcast, we kind of called out so many of his moves and so many of his mechanics.
When we did our wish listing.
Yeah. So I'm super hyped. I mean,
all right, so I got
obviously.
A question for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're hyped. He's one of your top 3 between Alakazam, Caesar, so non-Ubers. Obviously, Mewtwo's your favorite.
Yeah.
Alakazam, Caesar, and Dragonite are your top 3 favorites of all time. Whereas for me, can you guess my top 3? I know you know my top 2. Can you guess my third? Sceptile, Infernape.
Grumpig.
No,
that's your favorite psychic type.
He's my favorite psychic.
I do know this, and I'm going to feel silly when I don't guess it.
What gym do I run?
The grass gym. Meganium. All right.
Gotta go with Pickles, man.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a trick question.
He's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
He's a long-necked dinosaur.
Yeah, I didn't want you to, just pull a trick question on me. Oh, dude, I love Chimecho, man. Chimecho, bro.
You know it was in my top 10 picture, at least.
Yeah.
For anybody that sees me on Discord, it'll be basically my profile picture on there.
Yeah, it'll be Chimecho. Just Chimecho.
Yeah. So obviously I got a question for you. You being the Dragonite stan of the group,
yep.
I'm super hyped from a competitive standpoint. I guess I got 2 points to make. First, from my excuse me, from my MOBA background, I'm really, really, really excited from everything that we've got going on in Unite, and from looking at the Dragonite footage. Even we haven't read into all the details. We don't have there's a lot of information
there is
to process and consume. It literally, I was kind of speechless for 20 minutes, wasn't I? It was sort of in Discord, we were just stumble over words. What did we just watch? This is so crazy.
Yeah.
But it's not the most complicated or crazy thing. Obviously, being from League, there's some insane mechanics out there. Looking at Yasuo or what's his name? The dude that steals the ult, Kane, and stuff like that. There's a lot of crazy, unique mechanics. But Dragonite not only being a ranged, the first true ranged attacker ranged all rounder, and then on top of that, seeing the unique evolution was really, really cool. Yeah. I really like seeing the unique evolution. For anybody that didn't check it out real quick, it was a level 5 turns to Dragonair, and then level 8 to Dragonite, and then level 9 he gets his ultimate. So it's a very unique progression there. But it's because Dragonair only gets one upgraded move. And then you don't get another upgraded move until you hit Dragonite at 8.
Yep.
In the Hyper Beam or the Outrage. So my question, that's kind of my overview. I got to basically sleep on it. That's my thoughts. I think I obviously don't know his numbers yet, but those can all subject to change. Numbers or whatever. We're looking at the mechanics of what the moves are or what the kit has in turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in that, the usage is just infinite. There's just he has every tool you could ask for. It really feels like they heard the community's outcry for the all-rounder problem. So with Tsareena and Dragonite, they're look, we're expanding this box of what an all-rounder could be. Then we're really just giving them crazy out-of-the-box tools to the sort of mid-range fighters, I guess, in the team fight. It's not the first one in, and it's not the backline, damage or support. It's that mid-range kind of secondary.
It's your linebacker.
Exactly. So it's really exciting. So my question to you, Brandon, being the Dragonite main, out the gate, what looks like your favorite or the one you're excited to try the most? What build are you excited to try? Both items and moves.
I think I'm going to have a hard time not taking Dragon Dance because of the movement options, and it gives you some sort of buff. We don't know what that buff is.
It for sure is attack speed. We know that from the video.
Yep. And then,
but we're just not sure on all the numbers and exactly what everything is involved. But it for sure so you dash forward in an arc,
yeah,
like sideways kind of, but forward.
And you can go over walls.
Yeah, and then you can do you get an attack speed buff for a certain time afterwards.
Yeah. And on the other side, I think I want to say I'm going to take Outrage. Because, in my opinion, I think Outrage is going to come with more buffs than what we think. I'm
pairing that with the buffs from Dragon Dance is looking really sexy.
I'm wondering if he's going to have like an unstoppable mechanic. It never said that over his head, unstoppable.
No, but he was so basically Outrage. He stops. Normally he's flying and he spits the purple dragon flame as a little fireball as his auto attack. But then you click Outrage and he lands on the ground and now he's walking on his big feet. He's basically like Godzilla stomping through Japan, right?
Yeah.
And his auto attacks become melee. He's punching people and clawing people with his Barney fists.
Yeah.
So it honestly looks like it looks like a fun way to play. If you want to like, all right, let's go. I want to mess some stuff up. I want to play like that big bruiser Dragonite. That's going to be the way to go to do you can totally do extreme speed. We don't know if it gives a shield. So basically extreme speed is the exact same mechanic as Charizard's Flare Blitz. It's the exact same cone, exact same range, exact same, you got a target. It works the exact same way. We don't know if by upgrading it you get a shield the same way that Flare Blitz does. If so, it's going to be really fun to try that paired with Hyper Beam or paired that with Outrage. Either one will be really good because you get a shield, good engage, little knock up, and then you can press Outrage and start pummeling people, or Hyper Beam and blast. It looks like Hyper Beam you're able to shoot and then kind of spin. That's not confirmed yet, but it looks like that might be the case. Similar to Decidueye's ulti.
Yeah.
Looking really, really fun there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think Dragon Dance Outrage is going to be chef's kiss for that, like, get in there and mess stuff up.
I truly think that this character, I want to say that I think this character will be run in a multitude of different ways. I think this might be one of those characters where we see everything is viable, where everything's viable.
Exactly, and the items are going to make a big difference. You got to kind of plan beforehand to go in what Dragonite you're going for.
Exactly. So yeah, that kind of wraps up our news. I mean, this whole episode is kind of news, but we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to the next part. Yeah. We're gonna get to the meat and the potatoes of the episode right after we grab some water and take a little break. So we will see you guys in a second.
Yep, we'll get the main segment on.
And we are back. Hope you guys are ready to deep dive into the winter patch, is what we're just decided the last 45 minutes to call the patch. We're going to deep dive it. There's a lot of changes that kind of need to be talked about, and I'm excited to talk about it. I know Justin is. There's a lot to unravel here. So Justin, why don't you get us started, man?
Right on. Class is officially in session. We're going to be talking about everything that we're basically calling this the perfect patch. This had everything that we were talking about in speculation, whether we were talking about it in wish listing. This had everything and more. The first thing I really want to talk about is how happy we are as like a customer basis. All the free stuff is great. The stuff they're charging money for still sucks, but we just don't give them money. That's all it is.
That's true. Just easy solution to that.
Money unless it's worth it. But besides that, we're really, really happy. Jokes aside, we are super happy from a player basis coming in here because we can tell that we've talked about this in the podcast before, but now it's definitively like set in stone that we know that they're listening to us. Yeah. There's no way around it. They are listening to us. So get out there, make your voices heard, whether it's commenting down in the comments below on this podcast or another podcast, Reddit post, Twitter, whatever. Make your voices heard.
Yeah.
Be respectful about it. But if you have a complaint or a concern or a wish, make it known.
Yep. Big Brother Tencent is listening all the time.
a really good time to be a Unite player.
Yes.
So the first thing I want to talk about is obviously the reason it's the winter patch is because of the whole aesthetic and theme going on right now, not only with the HoloWare and the Battle Pass, the login screen, but also the home screen icon got changed. So they're doing a whole Christmas event. But along with that, what did we get, Brandon? We got what we asked for.
A new map, baby, a new map.
Oh, and not only exactly what we called for on this channel, on this podcast. Zapdos is gone, but now it's Articuno.
Yes.
It's so beautiful. It's so great.
I'm just gonna say, there's literally, if you guys queue up, there's literally
he has different effects. He has like a slowing and a freeze thing, whereas like Zapdos had like the long range zap.
Yep.
Articuno has like this AoE burst. There's different moves and stuff that he does, so it's a different version of like how to tackle that objective.
Yeah.
There's different wild mons all over the map. Every wild camp is different, other than Dreadnought and Rotom are the only things that have stayed the same on the entire map. Apalms are now Sandpors. The main jungle mobs, instead of being Ludicolo and Buffalant, what do we get now, Brandon? We get Tauros and
Stantler.
There we go. Homeboys here. Corefish are still Corefish. I that one's still the same.
Yes.
But no more bees. Now what do we get?
Beartick and Cupchoos, baby.
We get the bear spawn. That's so glorious, and they look great. They really do.
Yeah.
The Sandpors look great. The animations are fine. They look the colors are super vibrant. The whole map has this icy wonderland theme, and it's great. We're really happy to see it.
Yeah, it's we were really happy with the Halloween patch, and this is just more that same goodness, but it feels better.
Yeah, it's turned up because like not only did they do that, like you said, they did with the Halloween. It was just a bunch of holiday stuff. But with this patch, like even if you press up on the D-pad to signal people, that the UI is changed and looks more sleek. The menus are different. Yeah. And now you want to talk about what we get? The next big thing after the new map is also what do we get on the after the game screen, the post game screen?
So this is something that we have been asking for a long time, and this isn't something that I feel like we really asked for. Like we did, but we didn't. But they just listened to us anyway. And that's now when you're done with a match, you can go and check your like damage dealt, your KDA. Oh, there's no D in the KDA. But you don't have to go back to your like player profile and go and backtrack just to see how much damage you did. You literally just hit that little purple icon on the bottom right corner of the screen after a match, and then boom, you can see that Brandon's Cramorant did the most damage in the game. Get used to that, by the way.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it's a great change. It's super handy. There's so much information to be had right there in all one big package. Whether you hit the X or whether you go over to the purple icon, it's all right there. All the info you need to know from both your team and the enemy team, other than the items are still not there.
Yeah, but this is a great start. That's like the one thing.
Absolutely.
I think at some point we'll see that. I think people will kind of ask for that because I'm really interested.
Obviously, like you had mentioned, we don't see our deaths.
Yeah, which that's not as important to me because sometimes that makes me feel better, which is probably what they're going for. But yeah, I would love to see other people's item builds.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, that's and then there's obviously like holiday skins and stuff like that, and that stuff's a little less important.
All kinds of new aesthetic stuff. For the trainer card, there's a new pose, as well as a bunch of new holiday stickers. Everything is basically tweaked up. So definitely log in, get your Tsareena while it's free, and check out all the new holiday stuff. And just as a special note from the PMC, even if you do choose the standard 5v5 or ranked 5, you have to physically go in and choose whether or not you want to play regular remote stadium or to say remote stadium in parentheses snow and ice. That's the new holiday map.
There's absolutely no reason you should be playing on the standard map, by the way. Get on the Christmas
out of here,
map.
Zapdos, Articuno.
Yeah, dude.
Now.
Freeze! So, that kind of sums up a little bit of that stuff. the
That's kind of more like the aesthetic and technical side of it. So let's talk about the big elephant in the room, so to speak.
yeah.
And we're going to talk about all of his buddies. So in this patch, they basically made one over. There was a bunch of bug fixes. Cramorant got a bug fix. Wigglytuff got a bug fix. There's so many different, and which is cool to just see that they're always in there tweaking, making sure things work as smoothly as intended or as smoothly as possible for the time being, right?
Yep.
That's good to see. So, but what's in here is they did one overarching kind of umbrella change, and this is something that we have literally been asking for as a community, both on the PMC as well as Crashy, Spraggles, Teats, all the big content creators have been asking for one thing and one thing overall, and that's to fix the scaling problem in Unite, and they have done this with one overarching change to the 3 characters that have recently, up until now, been sort of lagging behind in quite literally in experience a lot of times and playability, both in standards and ranked in master. The level 6 and 10 evolutions, so that would be Gardevoir, Mamoswine, and Garchomp. Boom! Get out of here.
They're gone. They're gone.
They sliced them. So now we're at a 5 and 9 evolution. So it's really, really, really important that we understand that all 3 of these characters are at a complete new viability as to what they were 2 days ago. Everything has to be seen at a new light, both fighting with them on your team, playing as them, playing against them in lane, or just against them in some sort of team fight mid or late game. You have to understand that everything's changed. The numbers have changed, both defensively, offensively. Scaling is all over the board. It's a brand new meta, and it's going to take a little bit for people to understand that these characters are viable now. That is the overall summary. We've played all 3 extensively over the past 24 hours. All 3 of us in the main PMC crew have tried them, and whether or not high-end competitive, not still to be seen.
Yeah, we'll see if that really made much of a difference.
In terms of your solo queue or duo queue, even in ranked, there's not a single character on this roster that is unusable in ranked anymore.
Yeah.
There's no character that's an absolute detriment.
I'd agree.
Everyone's viable now. It's a really good place to be.
I totally agree. And you're not afraid to lane with these characters anymore, and you're not... Justin, you were the biggest Garchomp hater of all. You know what I mean?
100%.
You were
100%.
like, oh, every time someone, queues up with Garchomp, it's a throw. Or, I'm just speaking very loosely. I'm not putting words in your mouth.
For sure.
But,
it's definitely a difference.
And then it's like, and you wanted to play Gardevoir so bad, but you couldn't because it's like, okay, you kind of got to take the jungle role almost to get yourself going. And then it's like, she's the worst at that. Let's be honest. She's like, she takes forever to clear because you take teleport first to get over the wall. Like she takes forever to clear, and you don't even get to Kirlia after your first clear. Where now that's a little different. Not saying that she needs the jungle. You can lane with these characters. You can lane with these characters. You don't have to hold their hands as badly. They're still bad early. They're still bad as Ralts. And it's like the Score Bunny, the Froakie
But you're just
thing.
not rolled because the jump from 5 to 6 was so profound in difference to 4 to 5.
Yeah, it getting from 5 to 6, like you can get to 5, whether or not you're winning or losing the lane. You can get to 5.
It's difficult to get to if you're behind.
Yes, yeah, and if you lose, if you guys both get KO'd and you got your 30, you got your 15-second death timer, and then 15 seconds to get up there. You're missing 1/20th of the game where you could be winning experience. So getting to 6 was really hard, and now that's not so much of a detriment. Yep. You can lane with these characters. You still need to be careful as Ralt, Skibble, and not so much Piloswine or
Swinub. Swinub just became basically like an A+. He might even be an S tier. He might be S-, but he might have wiggled his way into scooted his way up into the S tier ranking of tanks with Snorlax and Blastoise, because now that we get Icicle Crash at level 5, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like we've been noticing, like the Mamo plays have been legit. I think I got 2 MVPs in practice, and it was
and likewise with the other characters too. You are going to see the overall damage numbers for Gardevoir and Garchomp. They're going to go up because they're producing more damage early.
Skyrocketing. I did 100,000 with Gardevoir. We saw Garchomp do 100K. Like
we saw Garchomp do 130. We saw Garchomp do 130. So
we beat him. We beat him.
We did beat him. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you were Snorlax, you tanked 65K that game.
90K. I tanked 90K, and I healed like 40K.
You healed 40K. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you basically tanked half of his damage and just sponged it for free.
Yep. So, yeah, guys.
Yeah. They're all viable now. These three characters, because it's not just the fact that they bumped it down to a Gardevoir at level 9. It's the fact that you now get Curlia, and likewise Gabite and Pylo. In retrospect, the fact that we get these characters earlier means that we're not at such a detriment.
Yeah, I think the level 5 evolution is so much more important than the level 9 evolution, which is something you alluded to off camera. I totally agree. Getting Future Sight or Psyshock, whatever your weapon of choice may be.
Right now, my personal is Psyshock, just because it follows you and it spreads the damage.
I'm on the Psyshock train after doing Future Sight. I like Future Sight when it's Future Sight Plus, but
it takes too long to evolve.
It takes too long. Like once you get it, it's insane, but you don't get it until it's the last 2 minutes of the game.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And because we're getting that power spike, because at level 5, when you evolve to Curlia, because you're ZR, so what he's talking about, obviously, the choice there between Psyshock or Future Sight is your ZR. That's the one that you upgrade at level 5. We don't get a choice, so that it sort of forces us to make, and because they're in that contention, you want that level 5 power spike, because now we get Curlia earlier. You want to capitalize on that power spike.
Yeah.
So because of that, right now, Psyshock is just the more efficient and easy to use option.
Yeah. So that was one of the biggest changes. Shall we move on to some of the more individual?
Let's get a little more specific. Yeah. Some individual ones. So it sort of pairs off our most recent conversation there with those three. There's one that was sort of in the same boat, and it's one that you're a main of.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about Snorlax.
Yeah, that's Snorlax. I have and play... Well, no, I don't have Mamoswine, but I have played Mamoswine because of the free cards. I may be interested in picking him up now, but I have all the other tanks, and I play all the other tanks a lot. And Snorlax was the best. Well, he just got better, because now you get Heavy Slam at level 5. I'm not saying Flail, because you don't take Flail. And
so obviously he doesn't evolve, so he wasn't in that grouping, because obviously even if he did have Munchlax in the game, it'd only be a 2-stage.
Yep.
I mean, he's not even in the game. So, but they did change the levels to go along with the scaling. So he's sort of tagged on as like the 4th. He's like the Y as the vowel, sometimes Y. You know what I mean? So, But go ahead.
And then you get Yawn or Block at level 7 rather than level 8. So,
which we didn't talk about as those other three. That's the same thing for their scaling. It's 5 and 7 for their moves, which is a big deal too, because now we're getting Moonblast at level 8, and then Gardevoir with her ulti at level 9.
Yeah. So Snorlax was already the best Pokemon. I don't know why they did this, but I'm happy, and it makes sense, because Snorlax is always good at any phase of the game.
Yeah, he's always strong. His boosted auto's really good. His tackle is insanely strong. Heavy Slam makes all the difference in the world in team fights, and now we get it a whole level earlier. All the things we said before about the big jump from 5 to 6 makes all the difference, especially with a low damage variant tank like Snorlax, especially from it's been like 4 or 5 patches now, but the nerf damage to Heavy Slam. He's just not. He does put out damage early, but over the course of the game, he struggles to even put out 15-20%. So, being able to get Heavy Slam one whole level earlier there to level 5 is a big deal for your entire team comp, because you can fully engage fights safely and effectively.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that this is also a buff to characters like Gible, Ralts, and Piloswine, because I used to not take... Well, I used to steal farm from... I'm saying steal farm. I used to not care, because I needed Heavy Slam so bad, right?
So you need to get to 6.
Because I needed to get to 6.
I need this EXP just as much as you do.
So I didn't care if I last
even
hit
though you
things.
don't evolve.
Exactly,
You need that
exactly. So I used to not care when I would last hit things in lane. Now I have that. I played with a Gibble earlier. I let him last hit everything. We got Gabite super early because
you played with me also.
Yeah, because I didn't need to get fed as bad. Tackle is still good early on, so I'm still getting Heavy Slam as fast as I need to, and I'm also letting my partners get as much farm as they need to. So
and level 5, just like you alluded to, level 5 just kind of comes naturally, regardless of game state early. And level 6 can feel like a struggle depending on the team comp or whatever. Whatever game state could happen. You know what I mean? Stuff happens all the time in these games.
Yeah.
But level 6 could sometimes feel like a struggle, whereas 5 usually never does.
Yeah. So Snorlax stocks way up in every phase of the game.
Also, he got his ultimate at level 9.
Yeah.
So every ultimate in the game, no ultimates are at level 10 anymore. Unite moves. They're all level 9. And that seems to be going forward as where we alluded to with the Dragonite reveal. He evolves to Dragonite at level 8 and then his Unite move at level 9. So again, seems to be that standard. Tsareena too. Seems to be going forward that maybe we're never going to see any more level 10s. Or if we do, it'll be like somebody crazy like a
Mewtwo. Well,
yeah,
no,
Mewtwo.
That makes no sense. Maybe he Mega Evolves at 10. No, I think it's such a healthy change. I think that what you said was perfect, that everyone's viable. And that's a great place to be. That's perfect.
Feels like Smash Ultimate.
Exactly.
Like, put the time in.
You know how many characters are not viable in Smash Ultimate? At standard level play, they're all viable. All of them.
If you put the time in, you can win a local.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter who you play. You can be an Isabelle main, and you can win. Top level play.
We've seen Sonic mains. We've seen Dwarf take out a major.
It's
possible.
It is,
and that's one of the beautiful things about this podcast. See, we get adjacent stuff. We play everything, man. We love video games. We're just football and Smash, and here we go, disc golf. Let's go, Warhammer. So so the other one there, we're also going to talk about one of my main tanks. So obviously, if you've seen on the channel, one of our favorite combos, the Freezy Boys. Brandon's the Vulpix. I'm the Mamo. Mamo got not only did he get buffed in the kind of blanket umbrella, everybody got down to 5 and 7 for your upgraded moves and evolution at 5, and then upgrade again to Unite move and evolution at 9. Mamo got a direct buff to his high horsepower move, which is something that I talked about in every Mamo video I've talked about. I liked his kit. I loved what he has with Ice Shard. Swinub feels great. All of that. And being able to evolve to level 5 to get Crash. Icicle Crash for people.
Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah, shorthand for Icicle Crash at level 5. And evolve to Piloswine at level 5 is really great. That long range poke is awesome. Thick Fat is a great ability. But the start and or end lag of both high horsepower and earthquake are a real detriment. So what they did is they went in and they did a direct buff to his high horsepower activation time. So he dashes and then he stomps. That's the whole activation. So the dash is quicker and then the actual stomp is quicker. So both animations have reduced lag, and it's really effective. It obviously pushes people back like Surf on Blastoise. Same kind of mechanic there. So I really personally think with the changes to the leveling up of moves and evolution at 5, the 7, and 9 scaling now, as well as high horsepower change, right now the high horsepower and Icicle Crash meta, I really do think that Mamoswine has eked his way into an S- tier, along with Blastoise and Snorlax being the other 2 S-tier defenders in the meta.
Yeah. So, Justin, we have...
my stamp on Memo is officially here.
We have a little less than 20 minutes left before we got to wrap this podcast up. There's one thing that we're going to talk about Tsareena pretty extensively. I wanted to talk about one more thing before we get into Tsareena, and that's a mechanic.
Yeah, go for it.
That's a mechanic that's changed in the game as well. So now in your middle goal, in your tier 2s,
beautiful.
you as a player get increased shielding and healing inside those goals. So what that means for the game flow
So what
is,
he means by middle goal is your second tier goal.
yeah, so you can't dive those goals as easily anymore, and your opponent can't dive those goals as easily anymore. With a 5-man front, maybe they can, but that's why. So now Rotom got even more important. He was important before, but now he's even further up there important. So they're doing a great job balancing the objectives. I think that was kind of part of why they did it, and I think they wanted to discourage just random diving and stuff like that. Those are.
They're trying to encourage more group play, which we have been seeing a lot of death ball comps. So
yeah, we got rolled by a team of 5 when no one else would rotate to. We got 2 people who we can't communicate with. We got rolled by a group of 5 earlier in the game. So
I agree.
Yeah, so I thought that was really important to mention. So be careful if you're diving tier 2 because they're getting increased shields and healing against you, and their home base goal. Both of those have been buffed. So. Make sure you're playing for Rotom. Get organized. Get people to Rotom if you want to take that tier 2. And then split push it maybe depending who you've got top and who you can send bottom.
Exactly.
So, yeah, let's wrap this thing up talking about the newest champion, the newest Pokemon. Let's talk about Tsareena, man.
Yeah, so she's grass type. She's an all-rounder. She's melee. And she's got some pretty unique mechanics. So like we talked about earlier, she does get her first power spike at level 4. So Bounce Sweet sucks. Bounce Sweet is adorable, but it sucks. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
It's probably the squish she spoke about in the game.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful early, but it evolves quick. So that's a big plus. But you don't get your true power spike till level 6. So because you want your ZR, you want your grass type move.
Yep.
Your evolved grass type move. Steenie's pretty decent, like at just kind of trading and doing whatever. It actually feels pretty decent, but it's still squishy. It's a glass cannon. Then it's got so many mechanics in this poke. You've got the Queenly Majesty, which basically every third boosted attack or every third move will give you a stack, and you'll see these blue bars underneath her HP bar. Whether you're on their team or against them, you'll see these blue bars. Basically, when she's at 3, she gets full cooldown reset.
Yes.
It's insane.
It is.
So she's able to double or triple spam a move.
Yes.
In a team fight, and it's really, really, really strong. But all of her moves in one combination, like if you do just one rotation, her moves aren't overpowered.
No.
So, for what it's worth, they have at least tried to balance for the mechanic of having this cooldown reset, because the moves are not overpowered, and you need multiple rotations in order to get the kills.
Yes.
But the stack of Queenly Majesty also gives you a special buff to whichever grass move you take. So if you take Trop Kick, you get the
which one's Lifesteal?
Or if you take either one of the grass moves. So if you take Trop Kick or Grassy Glide and you have max stacks, you'll get a shield.
Yes, that's what it is.
Shield.
Yes.
And you use either one of the R moves, so either
Stomp or Triple Axle.
Stomp or Triple Axle, those will give you basically like built-in spell vamp from the move itself, on top of just her natural lifesteal from being a melee character.
Yes.
So she actually puts out a lot of healing. Doug mentioned earlier, he said, Justin, holy cow, dude, you did 65,000 healing. I had the button also, or the potion also. I did a crap ton of healing. It's really insane if you build for it and really are kind of going for it. It's insane. The healing's really good. The cooldown and spam ability, or excuse me, the burst and spam ability of Stomp is pretty cool. But it's kind of a short. It's a small range AOE. You have to aim it correctly.
I don't really like Stomp.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any reason to run Stomp over Triple Axle. Because Triple Axle, I feel like covers more area, has a little. Well,
definitely covers more area.
Yeah, I like Triple Axle a lot more. It got a few hits, so in case you miss the first or second, at least you're getting some damage off or whatever.
The jab move too, so it helps you get out or
Yeah,
in.
yeah. So I like Triple Axle better. I
Yeah.
don't love Stomp. I mean, I could be swayed. I'm open
No,
to.
I agree with you. I like the stomp play. It's not that I don't like stomp personally. I get what they're going for. It's just supposed to be a big burst of damage. It needs to be a little faster for my personal preference to fit that what it seems to be what they're going for.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be just a big boom, just a big punch, or in this version, a kick,
yeah.
just big burst damage. But it's just not quite fast enough, and it is bursty.
It's not bursty enough, in my
You have
opinion.
well, you have to set up the cooldown
Yeah,
mechanics.
yeah. You have to get the cooldown reset mechanic going. So
Yeah, the order of operation will be important with this character.
like I said,
Yeah,
if I see some crazy stomp plays and stuff like that, I'm totally open to it. But
it's
I like
definitely
Triple
not
Axel.
bad. It's definitely not bad. It's just I agree with you. My personal preference is that triple axle is it's definitely more fun, and I
Yeah,
think triple axle is more effective also.
yeah.
And then the other two I think are equally viable.
Same.
They're straight up 50 across the board. It's personal preference. So Trop Kick or Grassy Glide. So for people that played League of Legends, Grassy Glide is essentially a Lee Sin alley oop combo, 2-in-1. You get like with Lee Sin, it was a bunch of buttons you had to do the jump in, kick back. Grassy Glide does it all in one, and it's really, really fun and really cool, especially when you have the resets. You can just dash, 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 dash.
I think it puts out the most damage out of all of her moves
It
as
does.
well.
It does. It's pretty spiky. Drop kick. You want to talk about that one? That's the one that lowers defense, and it has the big trail.
Yeah. So for some reason, this drop kick leaves a trail pretty similar to the trail that Whimsicott or not Whimsicott, Eldegoss leaves
Eldegoss.
when she uses Leaf Tornado. But
Yeah.
that slows opponents, and I don't know about you, but that slow feels like the most hindering slow in the entire game.
It's a big slow.
It's
like,
crazy.
It is very
So
effective.
if you're getting chased by like three people, you can just drop kick your way up, and you can get away from all of them. So
And they can't chase you through it. It's basically like chase. It's trying to like chase a Singe in League or something. Like it's just not she's gonna get away. It's really, really cool.
it is cool. It's good. So I don't know what kind of
And
team
it lowers
comps.
defense. It lowers defense just like in the regular game.
Yep.
And if you have your 3 stacks of Queenly Majesty, you can get the shield. So there's a lot of play to be had with Drop Kick. I like Grassy Glide because I like the ability to just be all over because she is still sort of that like Lucario glass cannon. But like Lucario, she has a lot of built-in effects to help her be tanky. I like the mobility, but Drop Kick, if you depending on your item build, could be very effective for more of like a secondary or tertiary engage option to just be like a, you know what I mean, steamroll forward kind of engage team fight kind of comp.
So that's one thing I was going to ask you. What characters do you think Drop Kick is the best against? Do you think like the attacker class? You just kind of keep them in one place so they can't get away and just 1v1?
No, I think if you're going to go Drop Kick, you plan for the lowering defense mechanic first.
Okay.
And because you have to realize you're not going to want like the getting away part is in defense.
Yes.
If that's how you defensively use it, but offensively, how you use drop kick, you're going to be lowering. You're going to armor shred essentially. So it's going to be effective against teams that have a lot of thick boys. So if you are rolling up into the game and you're like, oh, I'm normally a Grassy Glide player, like myself or like Brandon, but then all of a sudden you see like a double or triple tank comp, or maybe a double tank with Wiggly or Blissey. Might be worth going drop kick to lower their defense because now we all shred. I shred, so we all do more damage. Kind of that. So drop kick is always going to have play for that reason and that reason alone.
Okay.
In my opinion.
So that definitely sounds like more of a group play. Like if you were to take drop kick, you would definitely, that's something you'd have to call out, like, hey, I'm going to slow them, stuff like that.
Correct.
I'm going to shred defense.
It's like when you get the shred effect on Absol. Same type of thing. The hunter's mark, like we called it from Paladins.
Yeah. So in solo queue, what do you think the best usage of drop kick would be? Potentially getting away, or
Getting away is going to be really good, and then again, like I said, either being you could be initial, but she's not the tankiest. But being that secondary engage, so like behind a Mamo, behind a Blastoise, or behind a Heavy Slam coming in from your Snorlax, and then once they engage and lock down the team, then she drop kicks in and boom. Then we can, then she can triple axle once their defense is shredded. You got a Decidueye or a Cinderace shooting over your shoulder or kicking over your shoulder, and their defense is shredded while they're up in the air from the Heavy Slam, and it's just this dog pile of everybody getting melted.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how drop kick is most effective, whereas Grassy Glide feels like the player's choice. Again, like the Lee Sin, it's good for that picking somebody off, like if you need to like make a pick, like, oh, their Cinderace is caught out, Grassy Glide, boom, knock them back to your team, and then everybody just boom, and it's like the bird on the branch, it just poof, explodes.
Yeah.
So there's definitely play for both. It's just more of a situation, maybe depending on team comp, again, because drop kick lowers defense, and then again, there might be situations where being mobile doesn't get you anything.
Exactly.
So Grassy, but there might be games where being mobile will get you everything.
Yeah.
So Grassy Glide has the mobility and good damage. Dropkick has the utility and engage potential.
Yeah. So let's talk about her ultimate before we wrap this up. We got about 5 minutes. I think that's the last thing with Tsareena we kind of got to talk about, right? And then we'll give we'll give an overview of what we think.
Well, other than her auto attack, it's just every third auto, she basically lunges forward and does this big kick.
Yeah. So
and, she does have very fast movement speed and also auto attack speed base. She's very, very quick.
Yeah, she is. She definitely is. So give us a rundown of her ultimate.
So basically, it's very similar to Charizard's. It's a single target. For people that like Smash, it's like a command grab, and this one they call it direct hit, I think is what they call it. I think
so, yeah.
Or sure hit.
Yeah.
But basically, it's a single target. So just like Charizard, where he hits the person, goes up in the Sizer Toss, comes down and slams them, she does something very similar. So she takes one person that you hit, you have to target somebody to hit it, kicks them up in the air, puts them up, and then just like does like a crazy super melee, just Dragon Ball Z spam kick.
Yeah.
And then high jump kicks them down to the ground. It's basically a high jump kick.
Yeah.
And then slams them to the ground. So again, very similar to Charizard's. And then she gets buffed movement speed and attack speed.
Yep.
Attack speed afterwards, as well as the fact that she gets the increased lifesteal from being a melee character and the lifesteal from her R moves.
Yeah. So
she becomes a very potent threat. She's very similar, like I said, to Camille or Fiora in League of Legends. So sort of that assassin fighter, like a mixer between a bruiser and an assassin in the top lane, where they can really solo carry that whole side of the map.
So it's really good at engaging a fight, I would say. That's how I do it with Cinderace. I engage with Pyro Ball a lot of the times, and then I use that increased movement speed and all that in attack speed, and then I just spam from as far away as possible. So, so pretty similar idea there. It's a really good tool for starting fights.
I don't think she's necessarily OP because her numbers are... They're not perfect, but they're close to proper as we can expect. Like, it's a pretty decent shot. Like, they got close.
100% agree.
Because they definitely understood going in. It might not be perfect, but they understood going in, like, this character is meant to spam, so we got to make sure these moves aren't OP.
Yeah.
And the moves are good, but they're not OP.
I definitely...
Is it Stomp or Slam?
Stomp. It's Stomp.
Oh, I was calling it Slam. My bad. It's Stomp.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I echo your sentiments here. I think we both agree that this character is very good. Maybe the slightest
solid
bit...
A2. Solid
slightest bit overtuned. I think the instant cooldown reduction
But she can get blown up.
She can.
If you go in without your stacks of Queenly Majesty, if you go in, so obviously that would be proccing your shield on your grass move going in. If you go in without that, and obviously we forgot to talk about the Queenly Majesty, also reduces hindrances. So like if it normally would be 3 seconds, now it's like 2 point whatever.
Yeah.
So it's very solid ability.
I think we both agree that the instant cooldown is a little bit broken right now.
Yeah, it should be reduced cooldown. Maybe not instant, or maybe instant once.
Half would be, I think, enough. Maybe.
Yeah.
What do you think? If Quidly Majesty reduced...
I like the instant cooldown once.
Okay.
Like being able to do that with the squirrel is fun.
Yeah,
Greedent.
But you can triple axle up to like 3 times sometimes, 3 or 4 times before.
Dude, I've gotten 4 grassy glides in a very quick fight.
Yeah, and I've got 4 triple axles.
You're just everywhere. Yeah,
I was.
It's not hard.
Yeah, you can literally. You're just spamming buttons. I was just like, just spamming. So, yeah, I definitely think she's in a good place. I think she needs the smallest tweak.
Like I was telling you, if we're judging all Pokemon on release in terms of their OP-ness, pun intended, Sylveon being the most broken upon release, so we'll call that a 10 out of 10 broken. I think Tsareena like probably a 7 or an 8.
Yeah.
So she's a solid A tier, maybe S minus. I do think that Lucario, even with these nerfs, we didn't talk about it much, but it's honestly they're just more balance changes than anything. For him and Zeraora, just kind of tweaking them into the meta.
They're still great. They're still great.
I still think Lucario is the top tier all-rounder ahead of Tsareena. That's my initial impressions, but we'll see in a couple weeks if that stays true.
Yeah. But overall, I really like Sereena's place. I really like her play style. She's the first all-rounder that I feel like that I've really, really clicked with.
Yeah.
And that's good. And
now you're getting practice for Dragonite, man.
I know,
We can have to go.
Yep. Yeah, guys.
10 days, I think, man.
Yeah. So I think that covers everything we wanted to talk about. We're getting this done just in time.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I had a good time with this one, guys. Thanks for listening, sitting through all this news. We'll
let us know down in the comments, like we said before. What do you like most out of this winter patch? Well, you remember what the question of the day was, Brandon?
Who would you use as a grass defender if you had to choose one? There
it is.
All right.
Obviously, I'm Meganium. Brandon's picking the Torterra pick along with Bananas.
Yep. Pick some better ones than ours. Although we probably have the best ones, honestly.
Meganium's the best. You can't top that.
All right, guys. That's going to do it. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, I've been Zero.
I'm Justin.
Class is dismissed. Go Blue!
Go Blue!